Above the year of a 50-year career, Wim Wenders has treated in such a world luminaries as Mel Gibson, Alicia Vikander and Fate Gang U2. Yet the Deutsche Moviemaker observed world acceptance on an entire new standard while he recognized an invite of the Vatican to do a movie on the Pope of Rome. Uniting interviews in The High Priest in length of his wandering, Pope of Rome Francis, a man of his speech shows its object commander audiences far more rather than any celebrity could gathering. So did Wenders see any similar elements in several of his some collaborators for the 4 persons afternoons he consumable talking in his sanctity? This Pope of Rome has the identical present as several of the big cinema stars I've treated in, says the CEO of Paris, Texas, Inspire of Wish and Buena Prospect Public Clubhouse. Yet it comes of within, of his convictions and his belief, and of his wish to say to all of us. He doesn't include it since same's complete of oneself, continues the 72-year-old. Same's extremely humble, a actual, lowly person, he's not an instrument, same's not an artist. Same's concerned in all he meets, and in real communicating. Wenders believes it was the Pope of Rome's wish to achieve as broad an auditorium as probable how led him to do his large screen opening. It surely wasn't since he was known in Wim's job. I aware for a reality the Pope of Rome doesn't aware movies, he shrugs. This at first item he told to me was, I've heard nice things on thou, but I must confess I refuged seen a solitary one of yours films. End of you took position by attention features the original attitude instead of came of Dario Vigano, the movie-loving chief of the Vatican's communication division. Wenders insists no object was off the spreadsheet and how the Pope of Rome wouldn't include had it any some path. For the document, that had its opening at the Cannes Movie Fest in May, the 81-year-old is seen address the sex misuse scandals how include rocked the Roman Catholic chapel in latter year. He talked on pedophilia out of indecision, and how was while he was at his angriest, says the CEO. We very thick felt the rage in him, how he would love to do so lot more than but same's just one person. At some points in the movie, Pope of Rome Francis expresses concerns for the environmental and his more than general hopes for a more than equivalent planet. Center to his thought are this 3Ts, tierra, trabajo y techo, the Spanish speech for earth, job and habitation. Thou don't wait the Pope of Rome to refer salaries, but he doesn't fluctuate to be specific. Wenders continues. It conducted courage to say we're destructive our earth and we're all departure to go downward if we don't get thoroughness of our own building. Conducting period in the Pope of Rome obviously had an effect on the 3-time Oscar candidate, who found oneself interrogative his own trend to greed. I include a big drug addiction, Wenders confesses. I buy a lot of piece of music since I wish to remain on top of things. I implemented how a lot of the piece of music I just hear to one day. I hold purchase more than and he's absurd. Taking into account down there are an alleged 1.2 trillion ancient Roman Catholics in the planet, down there is certainly to be an auditorium for Wenders' movie. Yet the CEO hopes Pope of Rome Francis, a man of his speech will do more than rather than proclaim to the chorus. This movie is on a man who wants to go his chapel and say to all, not fair Catholics and Christians, he concludes. It's is not fair a believer communication. He's a communication to all human beings of nice will, and how's who he wants to address. Pope of Rome Francis, a man of his speech is out in the UK on August 10th.